Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So we're coming to the end of October, and this is the time for, a celebration that the society here celebrates, which is Halloween. And so, what should we do as Muslim families? And we have kids that see other kids go around the neighborhood collecting candy, wearing weird costumes, just all fun and stuff. That's how they look at it. So what is the permissibility of participating in something like this? What if you're not participating, but you're in your home and kids come and knock at your door and they want candy? What do you do? And how, if you don't want to do that, what do you advise? So
Very good.
yes.
Halloween is basically a very well-known celebrations, a season for fun, for costume, for, in modern days. And there is a lot of debate on the original, where is originally coming from. It's celebrating the souls of the dead comes back and celebrate them. What this has to do with, some people referring back to satanic worshippers and things of that nature. And you can see the amount of images associated with blood, killing,
Right, yeah.
witches,
Vampires. Right.
stuff like that. I'm always wondering, Sheikh, can you imagine if Muslims Eid associated with blood and killing and head chopped off, or like skulls, just like bloody stuff like that? What is gonna be the news? How bloody Muslims,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
love, thirsty for
Yeah,
blood, they are
beheading and stuff
terrorists,
like-
they are this, they're
Yeah.
all the ugly things.
Images of beheading and stuff
Yeah,
like
and
that,
it
right?
would be always associated with violence. Why Muslims are so violent and love blood and love killing and stuff like that. But when it comes to other culture, no, it is cool. It is like, it's just so biased. But anyway, regardless.
Right.
So the question is it today still associated with this kind of belief, the Halloween? Yes, in certain part of the world, it looks like Halloween is still associated with the satanic worshipping. It's still associated with this kind of haram and kufr beliefs. But definitely in the general society here in America and other places in the world, it's not. Like when kids goes out, nobody think about what satanic worshippers or anything like that. Definitely it's not. So, and I'm saying this because not to say it's halal or haram, but also because if you do this as a part of satanic worshiper, that's a kufr. If a Muslim participated, it's a kufr. But if it's not associated with that, it's not related to that, you're talking about things which is makruh or haram or things of that nature, but it's not a kufr that take the person out of the fold of Islam. And by the way, some Muslim country, they do Halloween, but not the way it is here, but they go out for candy. In some country, they call it gargaan and stuff like that, and in some Gulf country. It could be a culture that, or something that they adopted in from the British when they colonized the east side of the Arabia and the Gulf country. Maybe, I don't know what the root of it, but it's interesting. Like I grew up in the east side of Arabia, and they used to have that in Bahrain and Kuwait and in some areas. They have that in October. They bring like candy for kids and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's nice. They said, "A'tuna Allah yatikum, Bayt Allah yuwaddikum," something like that.
Yeah.
Which is make dua. The kids make dua for you. If you give us candy, may Allah let you go to Mecca to make Hajj and Umrah. Here they stone your house if you trick them and you don't give
eggs.
candy. But anyway, going back to the topic, so also this is something, the way it is celebrated today is not part of Islamic culture, Muslim culture, not part of the religion, obviously. So celebrating it will be something that it is between something that's haram, forbidden, not allowed, or those who will be more lenient with kind of celebration, non-religious celebrations, and they define this as a non-religious, will be highly disliked, something that is disencouraged. Obviously, there is other issue related to Halloween, which is the concept of how dangerous is not safe, and many times also the concept of going and begging and asking people for things, which is not something in Islam encouraged, a habit associated with all these waste of money, and also a costume that is not allowed, the costume of witch, that's haram, sihr, magic, killing, and all those things that is not permissible in Islam actually as, as a costume. And it promotes and make things which is kufr, like magics and sihr, as something cool, which is not right. Or killing people, drinking people's blood as something okay, or that's not allowed in Islam. And making it in the mind of the kids as something it's okay, cool, it's not something right in our religion. So I do believe the Muslims should not participate in celebrating Halloween in that sense, in this sense, by initially going out and putting costume and going into home and houses and stuff like that, buying a pumpkin and crafting it and putting it out with candles and stuff. I don't believe that it's allowed for a Muslim to do that. But if some kids or people come to your house and ask for candy, and you happen to have a candy and you give it to them, is that celebration? I don't believe it is celebration. You are allowed to give them candy if you have. People asking you, this is good. I don't think that's a participation from you. You don't need to give them lectures about Islam. Kids, there's little kids. When they ask for your candy, they don't want you to give them a book about,
how it's not permissible to
or Islam and how to be a Muslim, something about Islam. That's not the right time for dawah.
It's not a dawah opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I think I agree with you.
Yeah. So I that's my personal opinion. It's not about haram, but that's my personal opinion. Yeah. You don't have always to trick. You can treat if you want. If you happen to have. Is that celebration? I don't believe. Celebration if you go and you put a candy outside in a format, the way we put it out, the people who are celebrating Halloween and putting it out. Another thing will be, I want to mention this because a lot of people ask me as well, in businesses, am I allowed to put this kind of decorations? If you have an employees who are not Muslim and they do this around their desk or front desk, or it became part of marketing your businesses. I don't believe it's in the haram area, like sin and not allowed. First of all, this is their space. This is their, yes, you're the business owner, but this is her desk. This is her cashier. This is her clothes that she wear. And that's part of her culture. Is not a Muslim. It's up to her. Sometimes there is a seasonal, like there is a pumpkin pies or a pumpkin.
But that's related to the season, not to Halloween.
To the business. Is it allowed? Yes, it's allowed to do all this kind of business related to it, in my opinion, and part of where especially I'm talking about people living in the West. But if you're living in, for example, Saudi Arabia or Egypt, and you do that, that's not allowed, because that's a clear imitation for the purpose of imitation. Because that's not part of the culture in Egypt or in Syria or in Saudi Arabia or this country. But being here, that's part of the marketing season, part of the culture that we're living in. It is, you are allowed to allow this kind of things in your businesses for the need, because it's the purpose of it is a business. There is nothing in it haram. Just avoid the images and the pictures that it's haram in itself. But if just a spider and tarantula and stuff like that, that's fine. I hope that helps people to navigate the holidays. And also, when your kids have this kind of I just wanted to know, for your kids, it's not a logical thing. You don't give them a debate or a lecture about how the origin of Halloween is kufr and shaitanic worship. Kids are not going to see that. They don't understand that. It's an emotional thing. For them, it's about fun. It's for them about having a good time.
Right.
So when you lecture them, you don't win them. What you need to do, you provide something else to do fun activity. Hey, let's do this before or after. I promise you guys, we're going to get some costume clothes when they go on sale,
Yeah, well,
and we'll do that later on. We'll have it. Some masajid do some activity around that time. I think we have here a click and treat, and it's not to celebrate it because
It's click, not trick.
click. Yeah, not trick. I think that's something that make our kids involved, and we don't allow costume and that to do, but we do some activity, some work, because the kids need something to fulfill them. Might this model not needed in a country they don't care about Halloween, they don't know Halloween, but it is, in my opinion, something can help our kids to have fun, to have a good time. And I really appreciate that effort that put by parents, organizations, to provide a good alternative, halal alternative for people. We're not trying to say halal Halloween or halal Halloween, whatever
Halloween.
It's not about that. Halloween, it was not about Halloween. It's about my kids. It's not about celebrating the Halloween. It's about protecting my kids.
These people who, they go at us and say, oh, you have click and treat. You might as well call it halal-ween.
Yeah, halal-ween. No, it's not about the Halloween. It's about our kids and supporting our kids and protecting them and providing something for them. Because again, it's not a logical debate with the kids. It's an emotion, and you have to make sure that you win them and you appeal to their emotion, to the fun part that they want, without doing anything haram. We're not talking about doing anything haram here. So that's my position in this area, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guidance and protection for all of us and our family, our children. Jazakum Allah khair.
So my younger daughter, not the youngest, the younger one, Zaina, she came to me and says, I know we don't celebrate Halloween, we're not going to, but I'm asking for an avocado costume. Can you buy me an avocado costume? I said, yeah, when it gets on sale after Halloween, I'll buy it for you.
Wow, that's a very specific, an
avocado costume.
That's interesting. Okay, that's nice. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.